Two listings per month. Two listings per month. You're probably asking, Mike, what do I send? What are you putting out there in direct mail world to try to get people to call you up on the phone? If that's what you want to know about, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone, and this channel is called Two Listings Per Month. And let me, again, just because I don't know if you've heard what we've been talking about or not, I'll give you kind of the basics, what the objective is for this channel. We're trying to figure out, as a real estate agent in the residential world, where you get, we're trying to sell houses, condos, townhomes. In that world, if you're in that world, then I'm talking to you. If not, this is probably not for you. In that world, how can you take two listings a month where you get, you're just going to work 2 hours per day. You're not going to be getting these listings from your sphere of influence. By the way, that's just extra. That's fantastic, but that's something different. This is from strangers. You don't know these people. We're going to take these two listings per month from strangers, working 2 hours a day or less. We're going to do no outbound cold calling. There's no cold calling here. We're not calling out. In fact, we're going to get sellers to call us and ask us questions and hopefully ask us to come list their home. That's the objective. And we're going to do this all through direct mail, okay? Mainly postcards. So that's the objective. And if you're probably wondering, okay, Mike, fine, I get that. What are you putting out there? Okay. Let me just open up a little point of interest. I've already given you my background. I've been in this business for 30 years. First 17 years sold actively. Last 13 years been helping agents by training them and providing information to them. And I've been challenged to do this in the real world. And so here we are. That's what this is all about. I will also let you know that I am, if this succeeds, I am going to package this up and I'm going to sell it as a product and I'm going to coach people on how to do it. I mean, if that's what you're wondering, you're right. That's my big objective. And so because of that, I'm not going to just flash the cards up and you can see exactly what they are. Sorry, if you wanted it all for free, it's in the wrong place. If you are curious, though, about what I'm doing, I'm happy to share conceptually what's going on and what I'm putting out there, and give you some pointers of what works and what doesn't work and kind of why I'm testing this or the other. So if you can use your imagination, you're in the right place, and we're going to have fun together. All right. And hopefully you can get a lot out of this. Maybe you can go try it yourself and go for it. That's awesome. And if this all works out, because I will not sell a product if I don't figure this out. And it'll just be the end. It will just be a channel that didn't go anywhere. But if it works out the way I want, so I can show you how to get two listings per month at a very low budget. By the way, that's a great question. People have asked me, and I haven't mentioned that before. My objective is to figure out how to do this so that $500 per listing. Okay, my goal is to do $500 per listing or less. If you've never done marketing, you're like, oh, that seems really high. And if you've done marketing, you're like, wow, that seems really low. Yeah, I know. You're right. Both of you are right. Whichever side you're coming from. But if you think about what's your average commission on an average listing, and then you take $500 as a percentage of that, if you can keep that percentage below 10%, you're in pretty good shape. So if your average commission is $5,000 as an example, and you got $500 to get it, 10%, that's pretty good in the marketing world. Okay, that's a 10-to-1 ROI. That's kind of the objective. Now, if you're in an area where your commission is below that, then now you got to start wondering if this is going to make any sense. If you're in a place where your average commission is $10,000, okay, now you're 5% or $20,000 or 2.5%, and the ROI totally makes sense. That's just something you have to think about. All right, so all that's out of there. If you're still with me, cool. Let's kind of chat about what I've sent out so far. Excuse me. What I'm doing is I'm creating a series of postcards because I've identified a high probability market for people that want to list their home. And that's expired listings and for sell by owners, right? So you're aware of that. Somebody tried to sell their home, but it failed to sell. That's an expired listing. They tried to do it with a real estate agent, pops up in your MLS, bingo. And then we've got for sell by owners. They don't want to hire a real estate agent, but they do want to sell their home. However, their backup plan is if it doesn't sell on their own, they will eventually end up hiring an agent. So that's why we have those two different target groups that we're going out to. And what I've done is, although they are different, you can create a marketing program that talks specifically to them. But in my experience, there's a lot of overlap, believe it or not, between these two groups. And they kind of want very similar things. And so I'm able to combine my marketing and kind of send the same thing out to these two different groups and get a very similar result, because I'm kind of cross promoting ideas that they each like a little better than the other. For instance, an expired listing, what do they want? They want their home sold and they don't know why it didn't sell before, right? So that's what they want. They're frustrated because it didn't sell the first time with this agent, and they want to blame the agent, but they're not sure if they're kind of self-conscious. They don't know if it was the agent or their house, or they don't really know what happened and why it didn't work, because their friends did, their neighbors did, and they didn't, especially coming out of a hot market. So that's kind of where they're at, and what they want is a sell in a quick amount of time. That's what they want. They want to sell in a quick amount of time. Now, I know for sell by owner wants that too, but I'm telling you what's like their highest driver. And then for sell by owner is a little bit different. Their highest driver is not to sell quickly and get it done. Their highest driver is to sell and not pay a real estate agent. Okay, either because they want to prove that they could do it on their own, or really the driver though is the money. They believe that if they get rid of the real estate agent, they could put more money in their pocket. And by the way, if everything was equal, that'd be true, right? And if you've ever done anything in your life where you tried to DIY it, do it yourself, that's why you did it. You thought, well, I'm going to save some money to, I heard of some people recently putting some floors down in their house, right? They're like, I'm not going to pay a tradesman to come in and do it. I'll just do it myself. If you've ever done these projects, you're like, oh, this is only going to take 2 hours. And then 6 weeks later, you still don't have the floors in, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. Well, the same kind of thing with the for sale by owner. They think it looks so easy. And it's because we make it look easy. Professionals make hard things look easy. And so they're like, yeah, I could do that. And so they get into it. And their main driver is, I want to save the commission. I want to save money, because I think if I save money, I'll make more. And statistically, I'm sure you're aware that oftentimes, because they don't know what they're doing, they get a lower price. It's like if you did your own floor, the result ain't always very good. You ever walked into someone's house where they did their own floor, and it's all wobbly, and it's all messed up, and they're saying, hey, look at my beautiful floors. And you're like, oh. Anyway, you get the point. So the for sale by owner, though, they want to save money. The expired, they want to get a fast sell. So when you talk to the for sale by owner, you want to talk about saving money. And when you talk to expired listings, you want to talk about speed of sell. Okay, so that's important to know. And what I've done is I've kind of combined it so that because they both kind of want both those things. Okay, because believe it or not, this is kind of the interesting part. Like the first sell by owners today, they want a quick sell. That sounds really good to them, a quick sell in a certain period of time. And the weird one, though, is the expired listings. Even though they've hired an agent, when you start talking to them, because so many agents are contacting them, they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a deal here. And that's the thing they're going to start talking to you about, is getting a deal on the commission. So that's why I say they actually start to overlap. And your marketing can do that. If you get these dialed, in my experience, you can kind of go out with the same marketing to both the groups, because they do have they're similar enough that it's going to match. Okay. So with that understood, let me tell you what we've done. So for instance, we've got a postcard that talks about speed to sell. Okay. This has worked well over the years. You may have heard of these ideas, but this is a postcard. The classic is this one. It's I'll sell your home in 60 days, or I'll pay you $500. Right, that's the offer. Right, that's the catch. The grabber is a better way to say it than catch, but it catches or grabs their attention. Okay. And so, again, let me say that again. I'll sell your home in 60 days or I'll pay you $500. This is the real estate agent talking to the seller. And the seller immediately goes, what? What do you mean? I don't understand. You're going to promise to sell my home in a certain period of time. And if you fail to do that, you're going to pay me money. And yeah, that's what grabs them. And so that's a very successful promotion to an expired listing because say they had their home on the market for 120 days and didn't sell. And now you come along and you say, oh yeah, look, I can sell this home in 6 days. And if I fail, I'm going to pay you $500. Oh, the seller said, I want to understand what you're talking about. Why you think you can do that? How are you that confident? What's going on? And what that does is it strikes up a conversation where you can explain what that is. And by the way, this is totally legit. This is exactly what you will do if they hire you under this program. Everything I talk about is above board, and this is what's going to happen. That is an approach. It's an approach that was very successful for me in the past. And it's an approach that I just put out in a prior mailing. And I got some response. People asked about my offer that was structured in that way. It got the conversation going. In fact, they kept coming back to it, right? Because it's a curiosity thing. What do you mean? I don't understand. You talk different than other real estate agents. Okay, you got a lot of competition out there. Now let's go to the for sale by owner. The for sale by owner, what do they want to do? They want to save money. Okay, so if they want to save money, we've got to talk to them in a way that shows them how they can save money if they were to hire us versus someone else. That's going to grab their attention and get a conversation going, and then you can explain everything else. Let me show you what it's going to be. An example of this would be, hey, I can show you how to sell your home and only pay a 1% commission. You're probably saying, Mike, what the heck is that? Right? You're like, that doesn't make any sense. All right, well, here, let me give you an example. If a for sale by owner were to call you and they said, hey, Sally agent, let me tell you, I'm selling my home on my own. I have located a buyer, but I don't know how to write this contract. I'm very confused about the contract and how to get it to closing. Would you mind coming in and typing up the contract for us and helping us map this all out in a legal contract, and then helping us go through all these things. We know we have to do things. We know there's money that has to be get through a mortgage and with something about a title company and an inspection, and they probably don't even know all that, right? But they know there are steps that have to be taken to get to closing. They're like, I don't want to hire an attorney. I want to, but I know you guys know how to do it. Could you help me write that up? And you're like, yeah, I'd love to help you write that up. And they say, well, how much? And you go, that's going to be 28%. And they're going to go, no, never mind. I'm going to go talk to the next agent. And eventually you'll come to realize that they'd be willing to pay you 1%. By the way, I'm just taking up numbers. You can charge anything you want. Charge 2%. You can charge 87%. But I'm just for fun and educational purposes going to say 1%. Most sellers are going to go, all right, that makes sense. And so that's what you're offering to a for sale by owner. You're saying, hey, look, I got a program where it's like 1%. Now, let me back up and answer this question real quick. I'll get people to say, hey, Mike, that's like a bait and switch. What do you mean? They're like, well, you're offering 1%, but you really want 8%. I'm just throwing numbers out. And my answer is, yeah, I would prefer to have 8%. Who wouldn't? Sure. They're like, yeah, but you're really not going to have 1% because they're not going to find a buyer and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let me give you a different example from a different industry to help here. Okay. If you hear of McDonald's advertising their $1 menu where you can buy a cheeseburger for $1 or a French fry for $1 or a small pop for $1. Do you call it bait and switch when you walk in and they have the dollars, but then they also have the $3 item and the $5 item and the $10 item? Would you get mad at them and go, you're bait and switching me? No, you're like, okay, I see the $1, but I also, those $3 look pretty good. And the $5, well, that even looks better. At 10, well, I'm not that hungry. Maybe I'll go back to the 5. Okay, so that's the idea of having a menu of services. Okay. You can have multiple types of services that you're providing to different groups. When you make an advertisement, you only want to focus on one. By the way, that's a key marketing idea. Only focus on one idea at a time. You want people to either say yes or no. That's it. You're going to get the highest response there. Instead of throwing the kitchen sink at them and then confusing them, you might confuse them on the third thing when they were okay with the first two. You throw too many things at them, it doesn't work as well as if you just focus on one. All right, and that's the idea here. So all the way back to what I was mentioning, you send out a postcard that says, hey, got a program where you can sell your home and only pay 1% commission. If you want to learn more about that, give me a call. Okay, so that's one of the postcards we have. All right, so we got that postcard. We got the postcard where we say sell in a certain amount of time or we're going to pay you a certain amount of money. And people are like, what's that all about? And so one was for expires and one was for FSBOs. But what I found is they work well on the opposite end. Right? So you can actually send the same postcard to the same group. Boom, mind blower. Okay, so let me walk down a couple more things. I'm kind of giving everything away here conceptually at least. And while we're on it, I'm just going to keep rolling. So I also have a card where we talk about an easy exit listing. Now, if you've been in the business any length of time, let me ask you a question. Can a seller terminate your agreement? If you've been around a short period of time, like, no way, that's a contract. And yeah, I understand, but realistically, can a seller terminate an agreement? I mean, they just say, hey, look, you can no longer come to my house and show it anymore. I want you out of here. I want your sign down. If you don't take it down, I'm picking it up and throwing it in the street. I mean, they're just done with you. Is the agreement over? Yeah. If you've been around a while, you know that every once in a while, you just, boom, conflict with someone. It doesn't work out, whatever reason. The personalities just failed or something, okay? And it doesn't work. And when that happens, the agreement's over. And so instead of saying, hey, you're locked into 180 days agreement, you could just say, look, my agreement allows you to break this agreement at any time for any reason. Whoa, sellers, especially expired sellers, are like, that's amazing. Really? Because even though it's true, they didn't believe it to be true. And so what you're doing, by the way, a lot of the top agents, you'll realize what they do is they promote things that are factual as they're educating the public. They are looking like they get a big benefit out of that because people didn't realize that was true. And the top agents just turn that into a benefit of working with them. Okay, so that's why expired listings is another one. Excuse me, I said expired. Easy exit listing is another one of the promotions on the cards. So remember, one idea per card is going to work the best. That's another card. Here's a powerful one, testimonials. You should be getting testimonials from your past sellers in particular. You can get buyers as well. And if you only have buyers and not sellers, use the buyer to start. But you should get your sellers to do video today, if possible. And if not, then at least ask them to write down their experience, either for you and send a letter or do it on one of the review sites or somehow get that review. Because you can get that in writing. You can now put that into a postcard in writing, okay? And if you have a picture of these people, it works even better, right? Next, if their picture and the testimonial, boom, there's nothing more powerful to sell your services than a testimonial from a satisfied client. Nothing. None of these offers I talked about, nothing else. That is the most powerful thing. So you're going to have a postcard showing that you did for somebody else what you're telling these people you're going to do for them. Okay. All right. So that's another one. In our market, let's see, we've got, I'm going to go through this quick. I'm going to start wrap this up. We've got a new listing launch. That's kind of a coming soon launch. If you have those in your market, we promote that. Another testimonial, communication guarantee, promising that you're going to communicate with these people at least once a week. If not, you're going to pay them X amount of dollars. Yeah. Again, these make people go, huh? What's going on? That's actually one that's targeted towards expireds again, because probably what happened in their last relationship was the agent disappeared. The agent stopped communicating with them. They didn't know what to do. They got frustrated. And then the listing ended. They didn't even know the listing ended. They were very frustrated people if you've ever talked to an expired, and rightfully so, right? They didn't get the objective they wanted. They weren't getting communicated with, and things just kind of fell apart. So that's why if you can talk to them about some of these guarantees, they're like, I like that. Okay, that's something I didn't have. It might have made a difference. All right. And then testimonials again. So that's kind of the mix of the series of the cards that I put together. And that's something you should consider, or your own ideas. And in fact, that's what I'd like you to do right now is down in the comment section, tell me what you think about these ideas that we just talked about as far as cards to send out to your target groups, in this case, expired listings and for sale by owners. What do you think about the concepts we went through? Any of them make you go, no, I don't like that, or I like that a lot? Go ahead and write that down in the comments so I know I can get some feedback, and maybe we'll address any of them a little more. If you have any questions specifically, we can dive into those on a future call, future video. So again, I hope this has been helpful and fun. If it has, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, a like on the video. If you have any questions about what we're doing, go ahead and write them in the comment section. If you like this journey and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and we'll take you along with us. And if you have a friend that's in the real estate business that could benefit from this, go ahead and share. Hit one of those share buttons down below, and you know what to do after that. Go ahead and share it with them and tell them to come on over and join us as we kind of walk through these ideas of ways to get 2 listings per month. All right. Well, I enjoyed our time together. Hope this helped. Talk to you later. Bye now.